If you're part of the Pi network community, there's something I need to bring to your attention. It's a development that, if left unchecked, could damage Pi's reputation worldwide and even slow down its adoption. For weeks now, whispers have been circulating in private groups, but strangely enough, the mainstream Pi community hasn't been openly addressing it. What's being discussed involves political connections tied to certain figures in the Pi ecosystem, and the implications could be huge. If these claims gain traction, they could alienate large portions of the global community and possibly complicate Pi's entry into major exchanges. I've been digging into this with the same energy I've put into following the GCV movement, the global consensus value that's been sparking debates everywhere, and the popular but often misunderstood messages attributed to Dr. Nicholas KOKALIS. What I've found may surprise you, and honestly, it might be a bigger obstacle for Pi's future than any technical delay or regulatory challenge we've seen so far. Now, I'll be the first to admit something feels different lately. The buzz surrounding Pi network isn't as loud as it once was. Search trends have dropped off, and it seems like many pioneers are losing patience. But here's the thing, after looking into the latest developments and separating hype from reality, I believe we're much closer to an important turning point than most people realize. And that's why I want you to stay informed and not just rely on random posts floating around the internet. Before I go further, make sure to check the description where you'll find my Telegram and Facebook links. That's where I share the kind of updates that don't always make it into these videos but are too important to ignore. The Pi space is full of noise, and my goal is to cut through it with facts and realistic analysis, not speculation. So let's talk about one of the most controversial topics right now, GCV, or Global Consensus Value. You've probably seen it mentioned all over social media. The idea is that if the Pi community agrees on a specific value, that number could set the tone for how Pi is priced when it finally trades freely. Some groups are even pushing for an almost symbolic number, $314,159 per Pi, tying it back to the mathematical constant itself. It's clever branding, but here's the truth, there's no agreement on what GCV actually is. To some, it's supposed to be a token distributed to pioneers. To others, it's simply a shared vision for what Pi could be worth in the future. The interpretations are all over the place, which is creating both excitement and confusion. My take? I think the community spirit behind GCV is inspiring, and I get why so many people want to believe in it. But the reality is you can't just declare a digital coin to be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars without real-world demand, adoption, and utility to back it up. That said, community movements like this do carry weight. When Pi enters exchanges, sentiment and collective belief will absolutely influence its starting value. But will we see astronomical figures right out of the gate? Almost certainly not. And then there are the messages tied to Dr. Nicholas KOKALIS, who, as you know, is one of the most trusted figures in the entire project. With his background, a Stanford PhD and creator of the first decentralized applications course at Stanford, it's no surprise that pioneers pay close attention whenever his name is mentioned. Recently, screenshots and short clips claiming to be from him have been circulating, filled with encouraging language about Pi's progress. Things like "we're getting closer" or "the next stage is almost ready." The issue is that many of these are shared out of context, without a clear way to verify them. Based on Pi's history, this isn't new. Dr. KOKALIS and his team have always communicated in a careful, hopeful but vague tone. They rarely commit to exact timelines, and that's because building something as complex as a blockchain isn't straightforward. One technical issue could easily push things back by months. That's why I think these messages are genuine, but they shouldn't be blown out of proportion. They're not signals that something groundbreaking will happen tomorrow, they're simply reminders that progress is being made. Now, let's address the controversy that's been simmering in the background. Allegations have surfaced that a person connected to the broader Pi ecosystem may have shown support for political figures, specifically Donald Trump. Some believe this could tarnish Pi's image globally. That evidence comes mainly from likes and shares on social media, but nothing concrete ties it to Pi's leadership or the core team. Here's my honest opinion, this entire controversy is a distraction. Pi Network has always positioned itself as an inclusive, global project, not something aligned with politics. Its purpose is financial inclusion, not political campaigns. Focusing on alleged political preferences of community members doesn't help anyone and distracts from what really matters: utility, adoption, and the open mainnet. And that brings us to the question every pioneer has: what will Pi actually be worth? Right now, it has no official market value because it's not trading freely. The closed mainnet makes external prices listed on random websites meaningless. The dream of Pi being instantly worth $314,159 is just that, a dream. For Pi to reach real value, it needs demand, active use cases, and global adoption. My view is that Pi may debut around a modest figure, maybe closer to $1, with room to grow as the ecosystem strengthens. But those expecting $100, $1,000, or more at launch are setting themselves up for disappointment. The bigger danger here is misinformation. Every day I see fake screenshots, unverified documents, and recycled rumors making the rounds in the community. That's why I stick to one simple rule: if the information doesn't come from the official Pi app, website, or Dr. KOKALIS' verified accounts, I don't treat it as fact. Right now, Pi remains in its enclosed mainnet phase. The core team is working toward conditions for opening, and until then, speculation about pricing is premature. I know it's frustrating. Mining rates have dropped, and some of the initial hype has cooled. But that doesn't mean Pi is failing. In fact, slow and steady progress is often more sustainable than hype-driven growth that burns out quickly. What pioneers need now is patience and realistic expectations. I understand that patience is a tough ask, especially for those who've been mining for years. But building a legitimate, long-lasting cryptocurrency ecosystem takes time, and rushing could damage Pi's credibility. If this breakdown helped you clear up some of the confusion, make sure you hit the like button. Subscribe and ring the notification bell if you want more fact-based updates and analysis on Pi Network. And leave me a comment below with your thoughts on GCV, your realistic price predictions, or any other topics you want me to dig into. Also, don't forget to check the links in the description for my Telegram and Facebook pages where I share updates between videos. Remember, stay focused on what's real, keep your expectations grounded, and don't let rumors or hype sway your judgment. The pioneers who stay patient and well-informed are the ones who will be in the best position when Pi finally makes its way to the open market. The journey isn't over, it's just more complex and slower than many of us originally thought. And maybe, just maybe, that slower pace will be what ensures Pi's long-term success.